Hello everyone. Today I'm going to tell you all the details about the next book I plan to publish, Tim's Story. Tim's Story is about a boy who becomes an orphan after his parents and grandparents are killed in a car crash. I was inspired to write it because of contemporary Christian music artist Stephen Curtis Chapman's song, When Love Takes You In. And when I publish Tim's Story, I plan to donate proceeds from the sale of each copy to Show Hope. Show Hope is the organization that Stephen Curtis Chapman and his wife, Mary Beth, started in 2003 that helps care for orphans all over the world and helps families in adopting by giving out adoption aid grants. I finished writing Tim's Story on January 7th, 2017, but have not begun to publish it yet because I have several friends and family beta reading it right now, and depending on their feedback, I might add changes or additions if they suggest any. So that's why I haven't started publishing it yet, because I'm still waiting to hear back from them. I have talked to a publisher about it though, and informed them about the beta reader situation. Throughout the course of Tim's Story, I have mentioned several TV shows, movies, video games, sports teams, Christian music artists, Christian music groups, duos, one bluegrass artist, one bluegrass group, a country music artist, country music groups, and country music duos. I did this as a way for Tim to get to know some of the other boys at the orphanage, which he becomes friends with. Because as they were getting to know each other, they started talking about things they liked. In the course of naming things that they liked, I also named one autobiography as well. I also named 7 hymns in Tim's Story and 2 pieces of classical music. And with the hymns, I actually used full lyrics to 5 of them and partial lyrics for 2. The 5 that I used full lyrics to are old enough for me to do that. The 2 classical music pieces which I named are Moonlight Sonata and For Elise. The hymns which I named in Tim's Story are Were You There? What a Friend We Have in Jesus, Beulah Land, also known as Sweet Beulah Land, Amazing Grace, Here I Am, Lord, I Am the Bread of Life, and I Need Thee, also known as I Need Thee Every Hour. Some country music artists I named are Colin Ray, who happens to be my #1 favorite country music artist, by the way, Keith Urban, Brad Paisley, George Strait, Alan Jackson, and many others. Country music groups which I named are Diamond Rio, Lone Star, Emerson Drive, Rascal Flatts, and many others. Country music duos which I named are Montgomery Gentry, Big and Rich, Sugarland, and Brooks and Dunn, along with many others. The bluegrass artist I named is Alison Krauss, and the bluegrass group I named is Nickel Creek. Christian music artists I named are Michael W. Smith, Stephen Curtis Chapman, Chris Tomlin, Toby Mac, and many others. Christian music groups I named are Cutlass, Casting Crowns, Seventh Time Down, Mercy Me, Sanctus Real, Skillet, and many others. In Tim's story, I also named 5 Christian music songs. Those songs are Michael W. Smith's Welcome Home, Cutlass's What Faith Can Do, Matthew West's Save a Place for Me, Stephen Curtis Chapman's When Love Takes You In, and Mercy Me's Homesick. The autobiography that I mentioned in Tim's story is Colin Ray's autobiography, A Voice Undefeated. I've also obtained some pretty amazing permission for Tim's story, and it's not even published yet. I was granted permission to donate to Show Hope by the executive director of Show Hope, Mike Hamilton. I had this confirmed by Stephen Curtis Chapman's management team, as well as obtained permission from Stephen's management team via his personal assistant, whom I was communicating with through email, to mention Stephen himself, Stephen's song titles and album titles, since I named some of his albums in Tim's story, in the book. And I was also told that if I wanted to get permission to use any of his lyrics, I could email back and they would direct to who I needed to contact to get the permission to use lyrics. But since Tim's story won't be using any lyrics from any of Stephen Curtis Chapman's songs, I have chosen not to do that. But it's nice to know I have that option for any other future works. I was also given permission by Christian rock group Seventh Time Down to keep their mention in Tim's story. And I was given permission to keep the mention of the Cartoon Network show The Amazing World of Gumball in Tim's story by show creator Ben Bachbalet. I was also given permission by show creator Craig Bartlett to keep the mention of Hey Arnold and Hey Arnold the movie. That's the first movie from 2002 in Tim's story. And finally, I was given permission to keep the mention of Colin Ray himself and the few albums of his, which I named in Tim's story. So I would really like to thank Ben Bachvalet, Mike Hamilton, Seventh Time Down, Stephen Curtis Chapman's team, and who helped me obtain permission for the Colin Ray stuff, for allowing me to keep everything in. I really appreciate it. Other TV shows which I mentioned besides The Amazing World of Gumball are Rugrats, Rocco, Ren and Stimpy, Doug, Ghost Adventures, Jeopardy, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and many others. Other movies I named besides Hey Arnold the movie are all the Star Trek movies, including the ones by J.J. Abrams. Oh, a side note, I also named all the Star Trek series. Some other TV shows too. I also mentioned Shrek, Cars, and several others. The reason I mentioned The Amazing World of Gumball is because I know it's a really popular show for Cartoon Network, and I know it would be an easy way for kids to connect with it. Plus, I've seen a few episodes of it, and it's a really good show. Video games that I mentioned are the Legend of Zelda franchise, the Mario franchise, the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, the Mortal Kombat franchise, and many others. I also mentioned the animes Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z Kai, Dragon Ball GT, and all their associated movies and specials. I did not mention Dragon Ball Z Kai, the final chapters, which is the long-awaited Buu saga, or Dragon Ball Super, because neither of them were released here in the United States back when this book spans, which is April of 2014 through mid-June of 2015. I would really like to read an excerpt of Tim's story to you guys, but unfortunately I cannot do that because if I was to make a video like I'm doing now and leave the application of the camera to open the file to read it on the braille display out loud, or if I was doing a Facebook Live on my official Facebook page, which can be found and liked on Facebook if you're a member at facebook.com/official Jeremy Breitenbach. Or if I was to do a YouTube Live reading an excerpt, I could not, because if I leave any of those applications to open the file, it will automatically stop the live stream, stop the YouTube Live, or stop the video. The only way that I could do a excerpt reading is if I had a Braille embosser, also known as a Braille printer, which I do not, because they are very, very, very expensive. Actually, all blind tech is, but that's a discussion for another time, because it really makes me mad, and that's another video I'll probably make in the future. But that's why I can't read an excerpt because I don't have a Braille embosser. Unless I was able to somehow gain access to using one. Then I could make a Braille copy of Tim's story and then make the video, do the live stream, or do the YouTube live that way. So if I could ever find access to a Braille printer, I would definitely make a copy of it, because I would love to do that. Well, that about does it. You are all caught up on Tim's story. I really can't wait to get it out there to you guys, and please like my official Facebook page at facebook.com/official Jeremy Breitenbach, or follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Jeremy Bbach. That's twitter.com/Jeremy BBACH, to keep up to date on everything that's going on with Tim's story and everything else. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel too. And don't forget to turn on all notifications so you can get notified when I post new content. I will talk to you guys soon, and hopefully Tim's story will be out there soon for you all to enjoy. And I hope you're all uplifted by its message, and I hope you all enjoy the book. Talk to you guys later.